Hey, thanks for being here. This is Mike Forrest, and in this video I just want to share with you a simple three-step process that you could use to make changes in your life. For me, there were a lot of changes that I wanted to make in my life, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do, and I just felt overwhelmed with all that I wanted to do, so I didn't do anything but read more self-help books. So I had enough and I sat down in a chair and I said, I'm not getting off this chair until I've got a plan for my entire life. Well, 10 minutes later, I'm more frustrated, feeling more confused, and I was even more overwhelmed. So a voice in my head just said to me, pick one thing and forget the rest. So that's the first step in the process, just to pick one thing. And for me, there was something that I always wanted to change in my life that I just never did, or I would start, but I never finished. I didn't make it a habit. And really, that's what our life is made up of, is habits. So to change our life, we've got to change our habits, recognize the habits that aren't working, and identify some habits that will bring some positive change. And to me, that was stretching. So I picked stretching and I forgot about the rest. Second step is to write down what I wanted to do. And I chose to write it in the present tense from reading all those self-help books. I'm sure you know what I mean. So I wrote down, I stretch happily 3 times a week. That was enough to push me because I wasn't stretching at all, but it wasn't too much that it would overwhelm me. So I then took a calendar as part of writing it down. Step 2 is I planned out 2 months for 3 times a week that I was going to stretch for 20 to 30 minutes. That was it. I felt it was enough to challenge me, but it didn't overwhelm me. And the third step I did was I took immediate action. All the self-help books urge that too. That gets the going. You want to build momentum. Momentum we really only need at the beginning of habit forming. So I took immediate action. I did the calendar. I then stretched for 20 minutes. I felt amazing. And a tip that I'll add is reward yourself for the good behavior with a positive reward. For me, it was smoothies. I always knew I wanted to add smoothies, and I just never did it. So I made myself a banana and strawberry and spinach smoothie. It tastes great. It's good for me. And that was my reward after each time I stretched. And that's going to help get the subconscious on board. It's going to tell you that this is good for us and that we want this change in our lives. So 1, just pick one thing. 2, write it down and plan it out. 3, take immediate action. And another tip that I'll add is if you can find an accountability partner in your life, someone who's a positive influence, you probably have an idea of who this person is already. And you probably have an idea of who this person isn't already. And that's okay. They're just being them in the way they feel that they have to. Don't try to change them. Change yourself. And the other people in your life that you wish would change, when they see that you've made a positive change and the positive impact that it's had on your life, maybe then they'll decide to get on board. But that's up to them. That's not up to you. So find an accountability partner, someone who's interested in the same things that you are, someone that you know is going to be supportive of you, someone that you know when you talk to them, and if they were to say, hey, did you stretch 3 times a week? You'd know you'd have to tell them the truth. So they don't have to necessarily do it with you, but pick somebody that you know you can't lie to. So 1, pick one thing. 2, write it down and plan it out. 3, take immediate action. And the tip I would add is add a reward to the task and write the reward in. The 3 times a week that I would choose stretching, I would write what my reward was. I love to go for a walk in nature, so sometimes that would be my reward. And then I would really look forward to getting the things done. After 2 months of this, I found myself just stretching 3 times a week without even thinking about it. I found myself going for walks and having nutritious and delicious smoothies without even thinking about it. That was great. I then knew that I could add more habits to my life to make that change. And over a 6 month period, which looking back, it really isn't that much time. Looking forward 6 months, different story. But looking back over 6 months and making 3 different habit changes in my life, I notice my energy has increased. I notice I can get the things that I want to get done. I notice that I even have more courage to try new things that before I wouldn't. So start with one thing. You want to really, since adding new habits is what's going to change your life, you really want to exercise habit forming. So starting with one thing really helped me get on the road to doing so. So thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. The steps again are: 1, pick something that you want change in. You know what it is already, I'm sure. Write it down, plan it out. That's step 2. Step 3, take some immediate action. If it's walking, put your shoes by the door. Go for the walk. You'll feel great. Having it planned out will tell your brain when we're doing what we're doing. That's going to help out. And the tip I would add, find an accountability partner. If you can't find an accountability partner right away, what worked for me was I chose an internal motivation, a reason for me, and an external motivation, because I wanted to be healthy for my loved ones in my life. I wanted to be there to be able to support them. So having an external motivator plus the internal motivator really will help keep you going. Thanks very much for being here. You go out and be the change you wish to see.